Texas coaches, Coach Brackle here from First Down Playbook. After 25 years as a Texas high school football coach, I understand the time, energy, and commitment it takes to compete at your level. First Down Playbook was created by coaches for coaches to help you vertically line your total program. 1 week free team membership for all Texas high school and college coaches. Let First Down Playbook help give you that winning edge.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Crootin. This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express, deck the halls with boughs of tendies.
Nice.
Is that pretty good?
Yeah, I mean,
Let's go to our chief Christmas correspondent and make sure we get the sign off on that.
That was good.
Pretty good. Thank you.
There's enough said. Like, you can't even... I had some good chicken wing stuff to talk about, but I mean, you win.
If you got a stocking full of like wings,
Yeah,
like Chicken Express wings.
Mallory and I were leaving our game in Denison on Friday, and like a beacon in the night, a Chicken Express 18-wheeler with the bird on the side of it drove by, and Mallory was driving, and I was sitting in the seat, and I was like, "Follow that truck!"
I just love the idea of you guys just being like, God? And then like a truck.
Yes, a
You're
truck
like,
of chicken.
Well, I can tell you now.
Yeah.
Now that Pickle and Mallory have had coming home from a game sighting of the Chicken Express 18-wheeler, that is the third Chicken Express sighting this season of an 18-wheeler coming home from a Texas high school football game from DCTF staff, because it's happened to me twice.
Nice.
Maybe they're out at that time because that's too eerie.
That feels like guerrilla marketing. They're just like, guys, we need to, like, our target audience is people who are driving home from high school football games. We need to get these 18-wheelers out on the highway.
Where'd you guys go? Where'd you guys go for the game?
Denison.
Okay.
Yeah.
Munster Collinsville.
That was
Munster Collinsville.
I was south for both of mine. One was in Mansfield and one was in Palestine. So whenever I was coming back from those two games,
they've got it covered.
Yeah, they've got it covered statewide.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise is Wolford Friendship senior defensive back Bryce Garza. We're going to be talking a lot about players who did sign. Bryce Garza is a guy who did not sign in the early signing period. And he feels like a guy who is going to be, a lot of teams are going to be hot after because he's available. To wit, he picked up a pair of new offers from North Texas and Texas State in the past week to go along with places like Louisiana Tech, Sam Houston. With the early signing period now out and maybe some programs that need one more quality defensive back, feels like Bryce Garza is going to be a name we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's interesting in this cycle too, because I feel like some of these G5 programs have saved back their, some of their scholarships for this time period. The numbers didn't really correlate so much as that there's more unsigned talent, but I feel like there's better unsigned talent right now from the early signing period now going into the February 5th National Signing Day, which is your traditional National Signing Day. And Garza's going to be one of these guys that I think plenty of people come after. One, he's 6'3", 185. Look at him playing corner.
Yeah.
That's rare. That's rare to find a guy that has such a long frame to be able to lock down guys on the island in such a manner that Garza has been doing. And he's very athletic. So it's watching this tape, it's cool to see that he's getting these opportunities, but it's also easy to see why Sam Houston and Louisiana Tech were after him. And those two schools are probably like bummed, right, that they weren't able to close him out and get him to sign in the early period. And now more schools are coming after him.
He is he's a stud, and he's a guy that I think because of just the availability here, it's going to be really interesting to see where Bryce Garza ends up landing there. He's our prospect on the rise. Let's continue with our commit of the week. Obviously, a lot of commits on early
signings.
Period. But the biggest one probably came down from the San Antonio area, where Alamo Heights athlete Michael Terry III pulled the trigger, committed to Texas over places like Nebraska and Oregon, signed the national letter of intent, and helped Texas grab that #1 national ranking in the recruiting rankings. And Michael Terry, we've talked about him for quite some time. Just a playmaking dude and a class maker here for Texas.
Yeah, it went all the way down to the wire for Michael Terry, and then he picked Texas in the early signing period. That actually pushed Texas up to #1 nationally, and it held on to the #1 ranking because it closed so strong, especially picking up 5-star defensive lineman Justice Terry. Not 100% sure. I wasn't 100% sure going into that day that I thought Texas was going to get Justice Terry, and Michael Terry was hotly contested between Oregon and Nebraska. I mean, that was one that went all the way down to the wire. I really kind of thought, like, hey, there's a chance that Nebraska might be able to close this thing out and pair Michael Terry up with Dylan Raiola for, maybe their, like, big combination on offense. That was their pitch to him. But Texas, closer to home, did a tremendous job in this recruitment and gives the Longhorns one of the most versatile playmakers in the state. He had offers to play wide receiver, running back, tight end, safety, linebacker, and defensive end. So Michael Terry could literally do anything he wants to on a football field.
He can. He is a playmaking dude, and he is heading to Austin to play for the Texas Longhorns. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Let's round it all out with our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week, staying in the San Antonio area, talk about Cibolo Steel running back Jonathan Hatton. Finished up his junior season. He finished his season committed to Oklahoma. He is no longer committed to Oklahoma, decommitted from there, and has since picked up offers from Oklahoma State and Michigan State. He's now got 24 offers. It would be easier for me to list the big-time programs that haven't offered him. And now that he's back on the market, he is going to be a coveted name.
Yeah, big-time dude here at Cibolo Steel. I guess he's probably the most... Caden Stearns is the highest-rated player probably ever from Cibolo Steel. #2 on that list is probably Malcolm Brown. And I think Steel fans can probably draw the comparison between Brown and Hatton, except for I think Hatton's faster.
Okay.
I think Hatton's faster than him. And next year's crop of running backs is extremely deep. We've got all types and all sizes of running backs in the state. There are an abundance of these guys. But if you're looking for the guy that's like in the middle of the field, tough, gritty warrior type, Hatton is the one that checks that box. So it's no surprise to see that he has scholarship offers from all over the country, including, Texas A&M and et cetera, et cetera. He's got everybody, USC, Ohio State, Alabama. They all came after him. So huge loss for OU. He decommitted in that flux of what they were having with the offensive staff changes there. I know he has a really close relationship with DeMarco Murray, who I believe is retained at this point, but we'll see what the coaching shuffle brings and then kind of see who stands at the top for Hatton after that.
Yeah, now that he's decommitted from Oklahoma, he is back on the market, and it will be really interesting to see where he lands. I thought that the signing day special with you and Mallory Hartley was really good.
Well, appreciate that. Me, Mallory Hartley, produced by Ashley Pickle, and then the Ball Talking Zone, the BTZ, featuring Greg Tepper and Carter Yates. That was a great addition to the signing day show this year.
You know what the people
It was how about this? It was a fun edition.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. It was an entertaining edition. The Ball Talking Zone. It was a fun time, and obviously a lot of headlines kind of across the state that we talked about. Go back and watch it. It's on our YouTube channel as well. But I thought it went really well, and I also think that you saw that the big headlines coming out of the week were Texas closing strong. A&M picked up a couple of big commits late, especially from out of state. They flipped
a 5-star receiver.
Yep, flipped a 5-star receiver who was committed to USC.
Yeah, it was a USC.
Yeah, they did well, and I also thought, you take a look across the recruiting landscape. I thought that a couple of the classes that really stood out to me. I think that Houston, the first full class under Willie Fritz, showed up pretty well. I was impressed by that.
They jumped up like 5 or 6 spots, I think, in the conference ranking.
Yeah, that felt like they closed pretty strong.
Which was pretty big considering that they lost their defensive
yeah.
coordinator literally the day before.
Yeah.
That's excellent. That's an excellent point. And then I added in Baylor. Baylor was a team that was, I think, really floundering there. But obviously the success on the field has helped things. And it feels like they closed pretty strong in the final couple months as well.
I agree with that. I still feel like, and I kind of have now, as I've been doing media and stuff in the wake of National Signing Day, I feel like we're sleeping on TCU's class. Mm-hmm. They finished in the top 25. They finished a little bit better than what we had Tech's class rated in 2023. Mm-hmm. Or sorry, 2024. Mm-hmm. And we were really all over Tech's class in 2024.
True enough.
TCU was a little bit slightly better than them, but we didn't, I feel like, give them enough credit. And SMU finishing in the top 30 for the first time ever, transitioning to the ACC, a Power 4 conference, making it into the college football playoffs this year. I think sky's the limit for what Lashley is doing on the hilltop, and their class was really good this year, and I think matches the production that we've seen on the field. Their recruiting class matches that. So those are two of the classes that I feel like just kind of went under the radar.
Yeah, the guy who is the class of Dave Campbell's Texas football is Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here. Follow him on Twitter, GPowersScouts. He's fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Thanks, Powers.
Appreciate that.